We're on? Okay.
Okay, very good.
My name is Mary Erickson. I am a professional painter for the last 30 years. I have a studio in Venice, Florida, and in Marshville, North Carolina. I also travel to Europe, and I'm in Maine in the summer. I host a group of artists in Maine called the Nanotech Group. I've been hanging around painters for a long time, and love the work. So.
And I'm Denise Woodward-Detrich. I'm the director of the Lee Gallery at Clemson University. I've been running that gallery for about 20 years, and I'm also a functional potter. So.
Okay. It was a pleasure to jury this fine collection of art. I take judging very seriously, having had my share of disappointments in entering competitions. I know how important it is to the artist. I hope that we can all use this as a learning experience in the comments that I give, and realize the effort and the time that that artists give to take this on, to take this challenge of creativity on, how much hard work it is. Excellence in art is a hard-won accomplishment, and this compilation of works is one that the Spartanburg community can be very, very proud of. Choosing the award winners was a difficult thing because there was such a good body of work. 10,000 hours was a number touted in a book about success that I read. 10,000 hours of doing something, and I started counting my paintings when an instructor once said to me after I'd done my first, "I can't wait to see your 200th painting." My next painting is number, is it like 5,269. That's my next painting number. So there's an experience you can see in painting by the way it's handled. And some of the pieces had a lot of experience, and other pieces were very fresh and young too. But those pieces that were perhaps not executed perfectly had such a message that it was important to give them an award too. And I'd love to see the work of some of the younger artists as they mature and their work gets stronger. Initially, I look for a very strong visual impact. Both of us did the whole show first. Those pieces that make the strongest visual statement. And then I look for the hidden gems, the small ones that have a quieter message. Some paintings yell. Some paintings whisper, and so I look for the ones that whisper also, because they can be very strong on their own. Then I analyze the technique, the drawing skill, edges, aerial perspective, and surface textures are all very important. I look for the use of opposites in a piece, like soft and hard edges, bold and thin strokes, light and dark contrasts, and color contrasts that create interest in a piece, in a painting, but also in a sculpture, also in pottery. Those interests are available to every medium, so it's not just for painting, even though I talk mostly about painting. Titles are very important to a piece, and they can either add another dimension, it can make you look for something that you didn't initially see, and it can give you a different message. So titles are important, and then presentation is important. How it's framed, how it's photographed initially makes a difference, and can make or break whether something wins a ribbon or not, because of the way it's presented. Initially, I look for a strong visual impact, the pieces that make the strongest visual statement. So I'll do a once over and look at all of the paintings and sculpture and images, and then decide which ones to go back to. And
really wonderful show.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with the submissions, the quality of the submissions, and then when we saw the pieces here in the gallery, there was a lot of really nice surprises, right?
There were.
Some of the pieces were
exceeded
much bigger.
what we actually saw on the small images. So it was
I like
a great surprise.
I like what you had to say about presentation. I think that was one of the more important details in terms of us deciding on the pieces.
It was because the selection process initially was to get down to these 60 pieces was hard.
Yeah.
But for some pieces it wasn't hard because it wasn't photographed properly, or it wasn't, it was askew or not in a full frame.
Right.
So it makes a difference when you submit your images, that the image has just the artwork in it, nothing else, no grass, nothing it's sitting on, and that it's clear and straight. Really. So that's important.
And
the colors are represented, right? Some pieces, the colors were a little bit off, but that's difficult with digital photography.
Right.
And again, most of the pieces we liked it in digital, We loved it when we saw it here.
So we selected a piece called "Is the Renovation Ever Going to Be Over?" And it's a small collage.
It is. It is. It
Yeah,
is
it's
a
really lovely.
very simple piece, but the title says it all. Is the reno going to be over? The dog's facial expression, the fact that he's standing up on a ladder and there's all this stuff underneath him, and the whimsical quality of the piece depicts the title clearly.
Yeah,
So
really,
that was
really,
a good one.
really beautiful
That was a fun piece.
Yeah, very fun.
Okay.
And then we have a clay piece titled "One Notch Beyond Alleged Symmetry."
Right, that's a beautiful ceramic piece, and I talked about opposites earlier, how they create intrigue in a piece, and this one uses that. It uses curvature and lineature shapes. It uses small pieces and big bold pieces. It uses pattern, texture. It uses roughness and smoothness, like a glossy edge and then a matte edge, a dark edge. So that has all of those opposites that make you keep looking at this piece of art. So
And a beautiful form.
Yes.
And excellently articulated in
Yes.
terms of how the clay was worked. And then we had selected "Birds of a Feather," which is a
Okay.
photograph.
yeah, okay, I'm a sucker for egrets. If you look at my website,
Me
you know.
too. I think we work
okay,
well together.
we do. But the composition of the piece, it reminds me of musical notes on a scale, and it has a cadence all of its own. It has a peacefulness and a celebratory nod to our connection with nature, which what you said. And it captured the moment instead of creating a moment. So that was the beauty of that piece.
Yeah,
So.
wonderful, wonderful photograph. And then we have a really lovely painting titled "Blue Tin."
Blue tin. That's a nice one.
Yes.
Peace, isolation, contentment, and loneliness are all expressed in this Wyeth-like painting. Unification of the darks. The shadow area leads you into the shadows underneath the dog and the doorway. That holds this composition together well, and you're drawn into the painting because of its design. So.
Yeah, lots of exquisite detail.
Yeah, beautiful
you
detail.
spend a lot
yeah.
of time on all
Yes.
those details.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and then we selected "Hanging Out the Wash," which is an encaustic. It's a lovely piece.
Very nice. It has an abstract quality, and you said it's like a memory. It kind of fades in and out as you're looking at it. It has an ethereal quality, and you can get lost in looking into the textures and the patterning of it. It celebrates the mundane activity of hanging the wash. So, yeah.
Great, wonderful piece. And then we selected "Her Disfigured Present," which is a painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, really
Beautiful painting.
Yeah, really wonderful.
Powerful painting. The obvious angst and exhaustion of her gesture is compelling. The weight and the conflict expressed in the painting illustrates the seriousness of her experience, and the expressive way it's painted matches the emotion of the piece. Really strong painting.
Important content. Too.
Yes, yes.
It's really wonderful. And then we have "Audrey's World."
Yeah, you can't help but smile when you look at this painting. It's just simply joyous. It's well executed. I want to be part of that celebratory world. So,
Yeah,
it's
we want
just
to.
a
We
happy
want to know
painting.
who she is.
Yeah, I want to know all about her and what she's celebrating.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
And then a really wonderful painting, "Look at Me."
Okay. This one is the perfect title. The personality is well painted. It's bigger than life. The fabric textures and the surfaces are well rendered. The painting's a celebration of individuality and contentment with yourself. There was a pride in that painting. It's a beautiful painting.
Yeah, really well executed as well.
Good.
And then a wonderful sculpture titled "Against Their Will." Yeah, I think I've shortened the title, but that's the spirit.
That's it. Okay. So much work and a lot of thought and energy went into the execution of this, with references to history, religion, and culture. You could read so much into it. The weight of the message is reflected in the handling of the materials. So, really strong piece.
Wonderful piece.
Yeah, it kind of the emotion that you get from it is kind of a ooh.
It's scary.
It's scary,
Yeah.
but it's intriguing, and you want to know more about it. It's really an interesting piece.
There's a lot of places to get into it. Too.
Yes,
When you
yes.
really look at it,
When
there's
you
a lot
start
to
looking
look
at all the details of it.
it's
Yeah,
really
very cool. All right.
Really nice. And then "Fail Safe," or
Fail.
"Fail Safe, Fail."
Fail, safe, fail.
Wonderful painting.
Yeah, great, beautifully painted. You had to chuckle when it hits. There's a lot of poetry, a clear message with a sense of humor, and really needed and relative to the times going through COVID was something that we all needed to laugh a little bit about. And an economy in terms of how it was painted, the simplicity, the serious tonalism are countered by its comedic narrative of our time. It's just really a great show.
Really
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah. Congratulations to everyone.
Yeah.
It's really a wonderful show.
And I'd like to thank the Arts Collective of Spartanburg
Absolutely.
for inviting us to be the jurors for
Yes,
this show. It was
thank
a
you.
great
It's an honor.
opportunity.
Yeah, and an honor. Yeah,
Really
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
It was great to spend time looking at all the submissions and spending time reflecting on the work and the content that the artists are exploring. I think I learned a lot about kind of what we're looking at, what we're dealing with, and how we use materials to communicate.
To communicate,
really
which is what
wonderful.
we're doing.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
communicating, yeah.